Welcome back, guys. We are just finished with Monaco here. One of the reasons why I'm choosing to go, this one is a little bit different, guys, and this one is like the old ones I used to do. I'm gonna keep it a little bit shorter than the other ones, but we are finished with the season here, so I'm gonna go through with you how it was to be managing Monaco. Was it a good team? Was it fun? And how did the tactic deliver? Was the tactic good enough or bad enough? So the thing with Monaco is, for those of you who remember Monaco have been always number two, not always, but lately, and they went down one league and they had a promotion, they came back again, and they won the league in a time that was very difficult because Paris had used so much money, and they have done some pretty good jobs in Champions League. They have won second place too. That's some years ago now, but anyway. Okay, guys. When you start with Monaco, things are a little bit different from the last season. When you start with it, I think there is a hidden attribute here that I think is that have the motivation that the team is, and I think it's not that good. Okay, to start with, it's not that good. You don't have that much money that you used to have in Monaco, but you get some, the president here, the owner here, pushing some money sometimes, but you have to be careful because of the European Champions Cup. The club is on course on past European Champions Cup, FFP. When you start with it, you don't have it. But the problem here is you get the money to buy players when you don't need the money, in a way, when you can't buy anyone. So when you start the season, you really have not much money to buy players with. I'm sorry, and you get it when the transfer window is closed. So you have to do the shopping in the right time. One thing with Monaco here is, guys, that to get money you have to also sell. They live on that, because your stadium here, this club, guys, this club is a little club when it comes to finance, when it comes to money bringing in. You have a rich owner, yes, but your stadium is, I think, how much is it? Is 8,000, 12,000, something like that. So it's not that big, and you will not fill out the stadium that many times. Okay. So anyway, guys, when you start with Monaco, you are not in the Champions League, you are not in European League, so you really have to make it work yourself. Okay. And they have bought some players before Monaco really hit the buys. Their buys was one of the best, but they have had hard times buying the right players. So many players they have invested in, they haven't delivered at the standard that they expected, and to sell them. Okay, so we're gonna go through that. What is the main objective here is to come back to the Champions League. Come back to the Champions League with the money and everything you have. So when you start with the season, guys, you don't have a lot of money. I think it's extremely low amount of money. What you will see in Monaco is that you don't have that many good center defenders. I will start with the team right away, and you will see the tactic afterwards and the results. So I can start with the results. We came second place in the league, guys. We came not just behind. We had 9 losses. We lost both time against Paris, and we came to the semi-final and lost against Paris. And Paris defeated us in every cup. We met them, they throw us out. Maybe because I was a stubborn and I wanted to play my style, I didn't adjust that much. But anyway, they killed us. I mean, really killed us. Bad results. But no one defeated Paris. But it was 5 times they were drawn. 2 times against Marseille and once against Lyon. Well, we lost every time. So this tactic was defeated badly against Paris Saint-Germain's tactic. So, but 83 points is good, I think. Olympique Lyon is a very good team. Marseille is a good team. Lille is a very good team. Rennes, very good. Sorry, Nice. Where is Nice? Nice. There was a really difficult team to play against. This team. They were really difficult to play against. Anyway, we came to second place, so we are back in the Champions League. Money is coming in again. Everyone is happy. We can go and buy some good players again. But what do you start with? When you start with the game, guys, you have 4 goalkeepers, I think it was. Subasic, that have been here the most of the time, the longest of them, who also have been the first keeper before, is injured when you start the game. As you can see, he's 35 years old, 34 years old, I think, approximately when you start the game. His contract will go out. The wages in Monaco is very low. in average here. So you see that this is not a star keeper. If you want to do something big in Champions League, come back again and do something big, this is not the right guy. Do you want him as a second goalkeeper? Do you want a 35-year-old guy to be your second goalkeeper? The next year will be 36 years? You shouldn't. Okay, so you have Seydou Si here. He has also been promoted from the second team for me. He have played some games the three last seasons. He have been in AC Milan. Oh, okay. Anyway, so you brought him up. He can be your third goalkeeper. 4.8 thousand pounds. This is a new contract he got. I think no, it's his old contract. So yeah, I used him as my third goalkeeper, and because you have Lecomte. How do you say this name? Lecomte? I don't know. Anyway, he's your first goalkeeper. He came in last year from Montpellier, so he's in the game. He's not injured when he starts with the game. He's your first choice. He's good with the handling is good. I think he's not the best goalkeeper in France, but he's a good goalkeeper. So I would use him in 2 years. You see, his wage is not that high. So it will work to use him in the start, guys. Start with him, and then you can maybe invest in another goalkeeper later. So you have also, when you start the game, other players such as such a player I just sold. It's cool that Sidibé is coming back. Sidibé. Okay. You have other players. I sold a lot of players here. You have players such as Majeki. He's coming in also next year. He was on loan when you start the game. He's a big talent guy. So he's coming in from Poland. He's on loan to Legia when they bought him on the promises for £6 million. So he's a great keeper, great prospect. So he can be your first goalkeeper with time. But I wouldn't use him to keep him as a second goalkeeper next year, because you need to have him playing. He have to play. So loan him away. Keep him playing. So he's on loan when you start the game. But you have Diego who is this? Benaglio. He's also in your team when you start the game. I sold him right away. 36 years old. So the goalkeeper situation is not the best, but it's not burning there either. So get rid of Subasic when you can. Maybe I should have sold him in the winter, but I didn't. No one wanted to buy him. But get him off the team. Get 2 of your goalkeepers out. Keep 2, and you are getting one good goalkeeper in. If you think later on that you can't use this guy from Poland as your first goalkeeper, then take him in, use him as a second goalkeeper, maybe sell him, and you will get some money. The value of your players is not that high. And something else I can say about French football, here the strikers, the wingers are extremely fast. So you need defenders who are fast in the other end. There are not that many target players. What I saw here is a lot of fast players. Anyway, we go through, guys. When you start with the game, you also have defenders. The central defender, the goalkeeper, is something you have to be better on. So you have Jamerson. When I started with it, I thought, this guy, it doesn't work. I need another player in. But he made it okay, guys. He made it okay. He was not that much injured. Next year, I'm bringing another central defender into the game. He was delivered okay. The good thing with him is that he's okay pace. He reads the game okay. His bravery is okay. His passing is not that bad, to be honest. Okay, and his dribbling is not bad when he takes the ball out of defense sometimes. I use him as a ball-playing defender. For me, he started as my I played with one ball-playing defender, one central defender. For me, he started as a ball-playing defender number 2. So I loaned in Ronald Arejo from Barcelona's second team, I think, because his passing is good, technique is good, passing is okay. So I thought maybe this guy would be the thing. His jumping reach is better. It seems like he's better, but he is not that good as Jamerson. Jamerson had on stats, when you go into look at the stats in the game and you watch the games with Jamerson, you were better. but also remember that this is a younger player, so he have developed himself into the year. The best central defender you have is Maripan when you start the game. Maripan is good in jumping, good, okay pace. He's reading the game well. His bravery is good. His concentration is good, and his positioning is very good. Teamwork could be better. I think I like when the teamwork is 15 as a defender, but he's not a ball-playing defender. He's the central defender, and I think he's doing a good job. He did good. He was one of my better players in central defense last year. Not injured at all. Almost played every game. A good player. So beside here, you also have at the right back side, you have Heinrich. Heinrich was a national team player from Germany when he came, I think. So what he gives you good passing. As you can see, as a fullback, he gives you good passing, good technique. You can build up the game with him. So I wouldn't use him as a wing back, because if you're gonna start with him, don't use him as a wing back, because he's not a bullet on the side here. Either he's an inverted wing back, or he's a fullback that can take part in the build up of the game. His positioning is not that good. His off the ball is okay. His stamina is okay, not very good. It should be better when you're a defender at the right back. His pace is lacking, so for me, he's more a fullback. He can play at the both sides, but he's a right-footed player. But one of the best players is Ruben Aguilar. He was also bought last season, I think, from Montpellier. So he came with the goalkeeper. Very little money they paid for him, really. Anyway, he's a very good player, because his crossing, his dribbling is good. His bravery is very good. He reads the game well. His pace is okay. He should be faster, His stamina is okay. His positioning is not that well. He's offensively very good player. And since he also have good teamwork, you can see he's linking, when you watch the games, he links up very well on the flanks with your winger. So great player to have there. And he scored 3 goals, 4 assists. Stable player. So he was my first right fullback. At the left you have Jorge, who those of you who have played football you know, he have been here a long time. Jorge, isn't it? 24 years old. He's one of your best players. Look at this. His crossing is 15. His dribbling is 15. His passing is 15. His technique is 15. His marking is not that good. So when I see one of your better players, one of your better offensive players, his pace could be better, but the season is off. Don't forget that. He shoots from distance. He shoots with power. Dives into tackle. Runs with the ball often. So so this is a player who can both score and and gives you some assists. He gave me 8 assists, 3 goals in the league. The thing also with him is that he's not that good in the build-up of the game, but he's good off the ball movement. His positioning is not that bad. His teamwork is not that good. So you will see him lacking the combination the right back had. He will not have the same combination. He have hard time combinating on the left side. Sometimes I also used him as an inside forward, as you can see here, at the right side. And that worked very well because of him cutting in with his dribbling, with his passing, with his technique, with his vision, 15. It worked very well. And he had flair too. So you can use him both as an inside forward, inverted wing back at the forward here, or a fullback here. Delivered well, in my opinion. One of your better players. When you watch the games, he's dangerous. Arejo is a player I loaned in, so you want to go in there. And you also have Fode Balotore. He was bought mid-season last year, I think, from not much. You see, they don't pay much for the players. Anyway, he was a backup for Jorge, and he has higher pace than the other defenders. He has good stamina. On the physical part, he's a good player. His passing is not that incredible, crossing is okay. He's an okay player at the high level in France. He's not that much. He's not. The best left back you have, second best left back you have in Paris is not better than this, in my opinion. Not much. So this is a good backup you have here. Not the best, but then you should remember also something else. When you go to your second team, you have 2 other left backs here. Zagare. Zagreb. Zagreb have, in my opinion, is one of the best. This is the player in 2 years' time will really compete with Jorge at the left side. Look at this. Because you want offensive wing back at the left side, if you are building around Jorge, this is the man who takes over. As age of 18, his flair is okay, his pace and stamina acceleration is good. He's gonna be better, he's gonna be better. He is better he's good off the ball movements, his work rate is good, his teamwork will promise to be better in this. Flair is okay, this will be better. Decisions, bravery, all this will be a little bit better. And marking is not that good, but his passing is good. You see, this is a good offensive. Look at his dribbling, 14. His dribbling is 14. This will be a good wing back at the left. So I'll rent him out, loan him out, sorry. He's bought in from Paris for 8.5 million when they start the game. So he's already in the team. He played a little bit in preseason with me, then I sent him out in the second team and loaned him away. You have 2 left backs that you can follow there. The other one is someone from Portugal, I think. It's not in near this level. So in time you have a player there that you can use. So, but these 2 starts there, then you have Zagreb. Maybe you want to use him half season, then sell him, or sell him when you start the game and use Zagreb from start. But then Zagreb is on your bench all the time. You need him to start games. Okay, this is a player I just bought in. This is what you have to buy in, guys. 20 years, people. What I wanted to have 2 technical, gifted player in the central field at the midfield and 1 defensive player behind them. The reason because of this is because when you start the game, you have Golovin and you have Fabregas, and they are very good at the technical level, and they are the 2 of the one, not the Verratti level, but they were very good. So if you want to go to second place, then you have technically very good midfield, and you use Bakayoko behind them. I have also approached and bought Bakayoko in for next season. So you have 4 midfielders. This is a player I bought in, so don't think about him. You have Adrian Silva. When you start the game, you have Adrian Silva. For me, Adrian Silva is a good halfback, to be honest. He plays short, simple passes. He shoots from distance. That's not good, but he plays short, simple passes. So when you use him as a halfback, you can use him both as a halfback or as a defensive midfielder. That's up to you. Sorry, guys. Well, anyway. So his concentration is good. His determination is good. His teamwork is good. I used him as a squad player, so he played a lot. He played 18 games from start, always when someone was injured. So I used him at all the places. But I didn't use him in Fabregas' role, only as a Mezzala or as a defensive midfielder. But I think he can play all the roles. He's very professional. He delivers well either place he places on the field. He doesn't argue. He's on the bench. He's a happy player on the bench. But as you can see here, I used we can see the tactic 4-3-3. So I used Bakayoko here, Fabregas here. Here I used Golovin. You're gonna see like this, and I used him sometimes there. But the best player I had at this side was Martins. I bought in Draxler, Ben Yedder. So this was my main starting 11. Okay, anyway, we go back. So why did I do that? Because you have Bakayoko. Bakayoko is a good player, and really many good defensive midfielders you don't have in this team when you start. You have a lot, and his physical aspect of the game is so cool. Look at this. First, play simple short passes. Okay, so he doesn't have that technical ability, and he will not mess it up. He will play it short and simple. Shoots with power. He scores some goals and does not dive into tackle. But okay, then you cannot use him maybe as a ball-winning midfielder. But anyway, his stats here, he's a box-box midfielder. For me, he was a good defensive midfielder at this role here, like this, in support. So he gets the ball. Look at his tackling is brilliant. And you don't have that many good tacklers in this game, so then if you play aggressive football, they're going to make a lot of free kicks, and you're going to get a lot of free kicks goals against you. And his aggression, look at this, he can read the game, his bravery is good, and concentration, this is not that good, but it's not bad either. His decisions, okay, and his positioning is good, 14. His teamwork is good, his work rate is good, stamina, strength, and jumping reach, heading. So he gives you that physical and good disciplined midfielder that you need. Only 5 yellow cards, no red cards. So he was fixed as a defensive midfielder, not injured that much. Very important player. But you don't have a backup for him. There is no other defensive midfielders if you don't use Adrian Silva. Adrian Silva can play there, as you can see. He can read the game, he's strong, but he's at loan here. If you want to buy him, you can buy him very, very cheap, but he wants a high wage. I think he wanted around £100,000 to come to the team. That's a lot to pay for a player. A lot to pay for pay a player that will be 32 years old soon. And you don't have that money that you can just spend it around. It's better to look other ways. You have some players on loan that will come back, they can use them. And at the offensive roles, I had one advanced playmaker, Fabregas and Golovin. They work perfectly together. Golovin has used as a Mezzala. I gave him a new contract, so he's, I think, earning £46,000 when he start the game. He's a young player too, he's not that old. 5 assists, 3 goals, 733. He's very good in the part of when you have him and Fabregas in the field, you control the midfield. And you have Bakayoko behind them. They dictate tempo. Look at his dribbling. Is very good as a midfield when he comes forward. First touch is good. Technique is good. Passing is good. Vision, great. Work rate. Teamwork, so he links up very well. And his flair is good. And this could be much better, but it is not. So we will not cry. And you don't need him as a build-up. So that's what Fabregas does. Fabregas goes down and he builds up the game. He is higher up in the field. And not that many teams in France goes high pressure. So this will not be that big problem in France. Stamina could be better. His acceleration is good. His pace is good too. So this is a good player. Very good player. Beside him, you got Fabregas. Yes, he's old. He's now 32 years old. But he played well. And he's experience when you don't have other players. But look at this, the 18 technique, passing 18, first touch 17, so and corners 15, so he's good at set pieces as well. So this aspect of the game, and look at this, reading the game, keep him calm when you're under pressure, his decisions, flair, off the ball movement, vision. I used him as advanced playmaker because that doesn't. And the way we played as football, you can see later, is that we don't need his physique that much. So he can manage to play 90 minutes. Is not that dangerous that he has 6 in stamina. But again, when you have Golovin, Fabregas out, who are you going to use? You really don't have that many players, okay? So you have some players that put in the second team, and some of them are sold, and Fofana and players like that. You have players such as, for example, I don't know. You have Matazo. I'm trying to sell him because he doesn't fit the system, but he's too young. 17 years. This is not a player you can bring in when Fabregas is out. You had this guy. This is a player they bought from Bordeaux for 70 million. I used him 3 times. Yes, he's a prospect, but in my style, the way I wanted to play, he was not a prospect because where are you gonna play? His passing is 40 in there. This is nothing special with it, So I just let him go. So you have Fofana who can play as a Mezzala, but it's not that good, It's not that good at all. So I had them I had these players as a backup, but I didn't use him at all. But you get Benasser back. Is it Benasser? He can be something. As you have the first touch, maybe as a defensive midfield. I don't know, but maybe. Or if not, you have to sell him. So anyway, we go back to the team again, to the first team. Of course, we are in the team. And so I bought in Pablo Hernandez because at that point I didn't really have that much money. And I needed a better backup, so I knew I wouldn't use those young players. I have to get rid of them for fun on these players because they would never go into the system. So for me, he's a technical level. He's a Fabregas kind of guy. Tries killer balls often, plays shots, cross ball, plays down, 1-2s. Dictates tempo, and he can play different places. I used him as advanced playmaker here, worked very well as a backup. And also I bought in Cacuert as a 20-year-old from Lyon that I can see have those abilities to can play as a advanced playmaker or as a Mazzella in the future. Anyway, guys, when you come to the sides, okay, so we have great passing in the middle. We have Golovin, we have Fabregas. They can give you the ball. They just need players who can make run. You have Jorge that comes down the left. You have Aguilar at the right. So you have bombing the sides. Okay, then I need someone at the left. I bought in Drexler. He's at, you can buy him very cheap in the start of the season. He delivered well, you know. He played as an inverted winger. But you have also Keita Balde. Keita Balde didn't deliver for me. It doesn't have those attributes, in my opinion. You know, his right foot. He have the pace. And he have the flair. But that's it. It doesn't have the technical abilities that's extreme. You have some off the ball movement, you know, and you can also use him as a striker. Use advanced forward, so you can use him there. And he also brought in Tovin, but he's injured to February, so I bought him in the winter. He got somewhat injured, but but anyway, we're gonna look at the players we have in the team, and that's Martins have to play at the right. Even though if you're playing inside forward, use him at the right, because then when he cuts inside from the right, for him it was easier to score from this point than coming in and cut inside from this side. I tried him as an inside forward. And the other part is, if you use Martins and Jorge at the same side, based on his extremely bad at the teamwork here, and Jorge is also not that good in teamwork, it will be a lot of mess at the side. They will lose the ball a lot. So Jorge, you can use him here if Martins is away, and when you start the game, or you can use Martins, you know. Martins was great for me. He was one of my best players last year, if not the best. He really makes in big games. He's a really big player, and based on his pace, agility here, and dribbling, and first touch and technique, he can really mess it up. And his flair, guys, is an incredible player. This is an incredible player. And when you have Fabregas and Golovin, you ask them to get the ball into space, and he's running. But one thing I did with him is that tackle harder, mark tighter, mark specific person. So he's going at the left back. He's marking the left back, but get further forward. You want more run from him. You want him to run more, because you have great ability players with good ability to pass the ball into space with Golovin and Fabregas and Jorge. So you can start with Balde and the other players, but I would buy a new player coming in who can play at the left, and that's what I did. And you also have players like Jovetic. He's injured to the winter break. He comes back. He cannot play at the sides as he's not that pacey when he comes. He has been injured a long time, so I just got rid of him. I tried to play him 3 games. It didn't work. As advanced forward, it didn't work, so get rid of him. I also sold. You start also with Glick as a defender. I sold him too because he's too slow. You know, acceleration 9, pace 10, 32 years old. Didn't get much money from him. 5 million, but really I couldn't use him anymore. I couldn't use him in anything. And I bought in these 2 guys and loaned them away. Hope they can be something someday. And you also have this guy, Benot Badashil. He's very good. But I needed the money at that point. His jumping reach is good central defender. He has been here in all his life, so I just needed the money. I couldn't wait for him to be good, so I just sold him. And I was really desperate to get the money to buy a player that I wanted. So yeah, so I'm going to go more into tactic later. You see at front you also have Slimani. I used him only 2 games, you know, because my main striker was Ben Yedder, and he scored 33 goals. So this is one of the best strikers I have seen in the game. Ben Yedder has good dribbling, good finishing, good first touch, good passing, good technique. He's also a good penalty shooter. He has good off the ball, you know, remember that we talked about the off the ball and our passing ability. And he's okay pace, you know, plays shots, uses outside the foot. and he keeps calm. So the main thing was here, use ability of Fabregas, Golovin, Draxler, Jorge, who can pass the ball into space and get run here. So when we attack the flanks, we score from this side. When we were crossing, we was normally scoring from this side. So the crosses mainly come from Jorge, and based on Auxiliary, and he sometimes he's come with crosses too, but mainly our cross goal came from left, and our when we scored on counter attack, we went from right. So what did we do with Draxler? We asked him to shoot more often, because we know he have good long shots and good finishing, because they don't do that always as a when they play inverted winger. So he's stretching, he's coming like this, he's coming up here, and we are also asking Jorge to run the side, nothing more special, cross more often from Aguil and stay wider. Golovin, we have asked him to take more risk, mark tighter. The reason we want him to mark tighter was based on his acceleration. So he could go up there, try to win the ball. He had the pace to do it. I couldn't ask the whole team to do it. We could also ask him to tackle harder. This is Bakayoko, of course. And because the reason we asked Bakayoko to tackle harder is because Bakayoko had good tackling ability. And Fabregas, we ask him for nothing. He knows what to have to do. Nothing special here, nothing special here. So we go to the tactic guy, we use positive. Maybe I shouldn't have done that against Paris. But anyway, we play fairly narrow because we want the ball approach here, and based on good decision making of this guy here and his vision, he would find the players outside here, because you mainly score from sides, but when you also have the link up a little bit fairly narrow here, you will also use Ben Yedder a lot more, especially when he's advanced forward, So pass into space, of course, you have players who can pass into space, and you have players that can run into space. So it will be, many of our goals came passing into the space. We made a lot passing into space. We went to the middle here, but it didn't mean that we always scored goals from middle. We scored a lot of goals on crossings and coming from the sides, but the link up here got much better when I touched this one. We whip it the crosses based on we have a lot of pacey players. You could also go for low crosses, but the problem with low crosses here is you won't get that many goals from this side, because when Jorge comes, there is no one coming in. Fabregas doesn't have the physique to come up there that many times, even though he wants to come there. We pass it shorter because we have players with good technical ability. We have standard tempo. We could maybe also go to higher sometimes, and nothing else here. When we come here, we didn't counter press. We don't have the players to counter press, so you choose these three players with Golovin that can go tighter up. The rest of the team don't do that. And you counter. Why? Because you have players who can start a counter attack with Jamerson here. You have players such as Golovin, Fabregas. They can start, all of these players, and Jorge, Aguilar. They can start a counter attack, and all of these players here, especially these two, are counter attack players. And distribute to the center backs because I don't know, we could also distribute to the sides, no problem at all, but to the flank, start the ball from goalkeeper, that's the most important thing. Take short kicks. Why did we use this one, guys? And defensive weight in France, they get the opposite team scores a lot of goals against you on crosses and passes over the defensive line. So you have to have pacey defenders. You also can then defense wide. You have to do it because if not, the fullbacks will kill you in this league. You can go more urgent here. Sometimes I want this one based on which team I was playing. You prevent the short goal kick distribution, but they will play it anyway because of the new rules. So this is, I don't know why, but okay, anyway. Uses offside trap based on many of the players that in France again are very fast players but are not that smart players, so they run into offside very easily if you have a good defensive line with good teamwork. Mine was on the edge. Paris killed us because this offside trap there. But anyway, okay. You have a little, you're inviting them in. The reason I didn't go like this, and is I wanted the midfield don't running that much. based on Fabregas playing here, you know. When I use this, the midfield have to cover a more bigger space. I do it this way, and at the same time, when I am lowering them in, I can start counterattacks. When we win the ball, we can start it behind here. So it's two reasons. One, I don't want Fabregas and Golovin dying here, because they don't have, especially him, doesn't have the physique to work defensively. He's a smart player, but so you have to make it a play system that, and if they are coming up, he has space to set the ball in. So yeah, guys, that's it. How is it to coach Monaco? I think it was good. I liked it. It's one of the better teams to coach. Fun team to coach. You can play. I can see myself playing this game a long time. So this is one of those games I will go play more and more and more. I start this game again and go again. I will not upload it for you, but you can really build something here. But be smart at your spots here. Find your tactic. Find which system you want to go and buy those players. If you want to have running football, get Fabregas out immediately. Sell him to China, where I think China will, and some clubs in Arabia will maybe buy him, but get rid of him then, because you can also use him here, but then Golovin, where we gonna use him? He's your future, you know. So use him 1.5 season and then find a player can play here and go from there. Guys, thank you very much. Good luck. I hope you play with Monaco. This was one of the most fun games I have done. I didn't make a tactic that I could defeat Paris at this year, but maybe in 2 years' time I have taken Paris. So long, guys. See you later.